And take two, welcome back. The reason it's take two is because I just recorded this entire thing and then realized I had my microphone off. So if I get a little stumbly, that's why. I am pretty cranky at myself. So let's finish Macbeth. So you've got Act 5, Scene 8. That was Pupil falling off of a chair while inside a bag. You all wonder why I call him ridiculous. That's why. So Act 5, Scene 8 is where Macbeth and Macduff finally fight. So Macbeth and Macduff have never been in the same room till this moment. We've seen them interact. They've sent messages to each other. Macbeth told him, hey, get back here and show that you're loyal to me. He said, I'm not coming, forget you. Then Macbeth said back, you're going to regret that. Then he killed his family. Then he sent another message back. So they've sent messages to each other, but they've never actually been in the same room. So this is the first time that they're together. So Act 5, Scene 8 is this battle scene. So it opens with Macbeth talking about, why should I play the Roman fool and die on mine own sword? Whilst I live, the gashes do better upon them. So he's saying, why should I fall on my sword? Which was an old Roman thing to commit suicide. If a general or somebody thought that they were being dishonored, they would fall on their swords. They'd put their sword up to their chest and fall on it and impale themselves and kill themselves. So he's saying, why should I kill myself? I should fight. So we see this brave Macbeth again. Now, whether that is because he's learned anything, or whether that's just because in the previous scene he killed young Cyward and he's kind of feeling a little high on himself again, we're not sure. We know that he sort of knows his army is outmatched, but he is potentially still holding on to those things that the witches said. But he also could be, going back to that tomorrow speech, feeling like he's a little bit done with everything. So he might just saying, let me die with honor instead of fall on my sword. Or he might actually still have some hope. Macduff then comes in and turn, hellhound, turn. So, hey, look at me. Now that's also supposed to show that Macduff is better than Macbeth, because Macbeth has killed people in their sleep, particularly Duncan. Macduff comes in and he kind of has a clear shot to kill Macbeth. Macbeth's back is to him. But he says, dude, turn around and look at me. I want to see your face when I kill you. Macbeth responds, of all men else I have avoided thee, but get thee back, my soul is too much charged with blood of thine already. So he's like, dude, I don't want to fight you. Really don't want to fight you. And he says that he doesn't want to fight him because he has too much blood on his hands from Macduff's family already. I killed your wife, killed your kids. Don't make me kill you. Is that true? Well, he does have a lot of blood on his hands from Macduff's family, but he also was warned by the witches, beware the Thane of Fife, which is Macduff. So is he making an excuse because he's scared of Macduff, or does he actually not want to fight him because he feels bad that he killed his whole family? Macduff responds, I have no words, my voice is in my sword. So I'm not going to speak to you, let's just fight. Here's my sword, those are my words, I'm going to kill you, right? Macbeth kind of laughs and gives his whole explanation of, dude, I'm not scared of you. No one born of woman can kill me, and everybody's born of woman, ha ha. He repeats that also for us in case we forgot that that was one of the prophecies, because Shakespeare was always aware that King James, who this was written for, sometimes fell asleep during plays. So he's going to recap for us. So Macbeth kind of telling Macduff his whole spiel is also for us. Well, Macduff's got an answer for that. So Macduff kind of smiles right back and is like, despair thy charm, and let the angels whom thou hast served tell thee. So, hey, let me tell you the real truth. Macduff was from his mother's womb untimely ripped. So he was from his mother's womb, so from his mother's uterus, from her stomach, ripped untimely. So before it was time to be born, I was cut out of my mother. Somebody cut me out of her. I was not born. So he doesn't actually say 100% how it happened, but we know that he was not a child of someone who went into labor and gave birth. He was cut out of his mother. This freaks Macbeth out. So Macbeth starts to freak out again. Accursed be thy tongue that tells me so, for it hath cowed my better part of man. And be these juggling fiends no more believed that palter us in a double sense. Oh my God, the witches lie, they tell half-truths. all that stuff we already knew. He's kind of realizing everything Banquo had said before of, oh my God, witches tell us true things to make us feel something different. And then Macduff offers to let him yield. He's like, put down your sword. You put down your sword, I won't kill you. Drop it. But if you put down your sword, he says, and live to be the show and gaze over the time, and we have thee as our rarer monsters are, painted on a pole and underwrit, here may you see the tyrant. So he's saying, okay, drop your sword. We won't kill you, but you'll be a sideshow freak. He's like, we'll put you in a cage, we'll let people come look at you, and we'll little sign under you, come see the tyrant king. To which Macbeth then responds, I will not yield to kiss the ground before young Malcolm's feet, and to be baited with the rabble's curse. Even though Birnam Wood came to Dunsinane, even though you are not born of woman, I will try one more time. Now, whether this is because Macbeth actually kind of found some honor inside him, or it's because he just doesn't want anything like that to happen to him is hard to say. But at least in this last moment, once he realizes that the witches are nonsense, he kind of does drop everything and he's like, you know what? I'm going to fight. Even though I know I'm probably going to lose because of everything the witches said, I'm going to fight. Then they run out fighting, then they run back in fighting, then they run out fighting because they're just trying to make it look chaotic. And then finally, Macduff does kill Macbeth. So he kills Macbeth, and then the next scene starts. And the next scene is Malcolm becoming king. So the beginning is just Seward finding out that Macbeth killed young Seward. Don't care. It's okay. They're just trying to reinforce that Macbeth was super tough again to kind of remind that back to us before Malcolm comes in holding Macbeth's head. Because that is how Macduff comes in holding Macbeth's head. Because that is how that fight ends, right? We know from the beginning, Macbeth cut off the other guy's head and walked around with it on a stick after he won. Well, now his head's being carried around by Macduff. The only important thing in that scene is that Seward says, well, in the beginning of the scene, Seward said, had he his hurts before? So what he's saying is, when my son died, were his wounds on the front or were his wounds on the back? Because if my wounds were on the front, I was coming towards you when you attacked me. If my wounds were on my back, I was retreating. So he's actually asking, did my son die bravely? Did he die getting stabbed in the front, or was he running away? So that's also supposed to kind of just reaffirm this idea that a brave person fights till the last moment, which does kind of, in a way, reference Macbeth, who didn't give up and did fight Macduff until the final moment, because his wounds are going to be in the front too, because they were actually fighting. So Macduff comes in with this head, right? He's carrying Macbeth's head, and he's like, here, when he gives it to Malcolm. So he comes in, and he says, hail, king, for so thou art. Behold where stands the usurper's cursed head. A usurper is somebody who takes over a kingship. So he's saying, here is the usurper's head, and gives it to Malcolm. The time is free. I see thee compassed with thy kingdom's pearl, that speak my salutation in their mind, whose voices I desire aloud with mine. So he's saying, everybody's happy now. War's done. Because remember, Macbeth's people didn't actually want to follow Macbeth. So once Macbeth is dead, they're done. All the fighting is done. It's not like, oh, I killed the leader, but I still have to kill everybody else. So then he says, hail, King of Scotland, and everybody else says it with him. So he's giving the kingship to Malcolm. Now, what that shows about Macduff is that he was doing it kind of because of his family, but also for Scotland. He doesn't try to take the kingship. On a technicality, he killed the king. He could try to rally the men around him. He could try to take that from Malcolm. But he is going back to this idea that kings are chosen by God, that kings are chosen by your lineage, that kings are chosen by the king before them. And kings should be not the person who fought, but the person who is, quote, supposed to be king, right? Again, written for King James. So they're probably trying to say, hey, we're never going to kind of try to kick you out. You were chosen by God. Yay, kings, right? And then Malcolm comes up and ends with this speech where he kind of thanks everyone for fighting with him. Then he tells them, my thanes and kingsmen henceforth be earls, the first that ever Scotland in such an honor name. So he's saying, hey, I'm going to give everyone a promotion. Instead of just being thanes, you're now all earls. I'm giving you more riches. I'm giving you more land. I'm giving you more money. So anyone who supported me, I'll take care of you. You'll be good. He says, thank you to everybody who producing forth the cruel ministers of this dead butcher and his fiend-like queen. Thank you for everybody who came to help me. I promise I'm going to take care of you. And he ends with kind of calling upon God, that calls upon us by the grace of grace. So by the grace of God, we will perform in measure, time, and place. So he's just going back to saying that as a king, he's going to be guided by God. So the rightful king wins kind of situation. Which kind of leads us to who is our actual hero. Is our hero Malcolm because he restores order to the kingdom? Or is our hero Macduff because he doesn't care? He fought, he took care of everything, he did what he needed to do, and then gives up the kingship to the rightful person. So I'm going to leave us there, and I know we're having a conversation soon, so kind of give this a watch and leave me with any questions you got. Bye.